The Ukrainian capital, Kyiv, came under attack early on Tuesday morning from Russian missiles. Timur Tkachenko, head of the city's military administration, said on the Telegram messaging app. Tkachenko said several apartment buildings and an educational establishment had been damaged. Reuters news agency witnesses reported loud explosions in the city. A father and a son have been killed, and 2 children and their mother were wounded after Russia struck an area in the front line of the Donetsk region, according to regional authorities. A coal mining site in Ukraine's Dnipropetrovsk region was attacked for the second time in 24 hours, according to the private energy producer DTEK. There were no immediate reports on casualties or damage to infrastructure. A Russian drone strike on a bus carrying miners in Ukraine's Dnipropetrovsk region killed at least 12 people, according to officials. Ukrainian Deputy Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal denounced the strike as a cynical attack on energy workers. Their employer, DTEK, said the victims were finishing a shift. Another Russian drone attack on the Ukrainian city of Dnipro killed a man and a woman, while 9 people were wounded in Russian attacks on a maternity ward and a residential neighborhood in Zaporizhzhia, officials said. Among those injured were 2 women undergoing medical examination. In a post on X, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky accused Russia of attempting to disrupt logistics and connectivity between Ukrainian cities and communities through its drone, bomb, and missile attacks. He said Russia used more than 980 attack drones, nearly 1,100 guided aerial bombs, and 2 missiles against Ukraine.
This is CBNEWS. Subscribe to our channel for daily world news update. Stay tuned.
Nearly 700 apartment buildings remain without heating in the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv, due to previous Russian attacks on the country's energy infrastructure, Deputy Prime Minister Alexei Kuleba said, as a new wave of bitter cold swept across much of the country. Russia's Ministry of Defense said its forces gained control over the village of Zelin in Ukraine's Kharkiv region and the settlement of Suketsky in the Donetsk region, according to the TASS news agency. The ministry added that Russian forces hit facilities of transport infrastructure used in the interests of the Ukrainian army. Tech billionaire Elon Musk said moves by his SpaceX company to stop Russia's unauthorized use of its internet system Starlink seem to have worked, after Ukrainian officials reported finding Starlink terminals on long-range drones used in Russian attacks. Russia has largely observed a ceasefire on Ukraine's energy infrastructure. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said in his nightly video address on Monday, as Kyiv prepared for the next round of trilateral talks with the US and Russia, expected to begin on Wednesday. In a separate post on social media, Zelensky added that a recent de-escalation with Russia, an apparent reference to a brief ceasefire in attacks on energy facilities, was helping to build trust in the negotiations. Zelensky said in separate remarks that it was realistic to achieve a dignified and lasting peace, in advance of the next round of peace talks with Russian and U.S. officials in the United Arab Emirates. He added that a deal on U.S. security guarantees for Ukraine post-war is now complete. U.S. President Donald Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff, will travel to Abu Dhabi for the talks with Russia and Ukraine on Wednesday and Thursday, a White House official said. Russia would regard the deployment of any foreign military forces or infrastructure in Ukraine as foreign intervention and treat those forces as legitimate targets, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Moscow said, citing Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. Dmitry Medvedev, the deputy chairman of Russia's Security Council, said that a proposal by European powers to deploy NATO member troops in Ukraine as part of a proposed security guarantee and peace deal was unacceptable for Russia. German authorities detained at least 5 people suspected of operating a network that exported goods to Russian defense companies, contravening EU sanctions imposed after Moscow's invasion of Ukraine, federal prosecutors announced. FIFA President Gianni Infantino said he supports the reinstatement of Russia in the Football Federation and called for an end to the country's 4-year exclusion from international tournaments, including the World Cup in Qatar and the qualifying matches for the 2026 World Cup. Sport federations that claim sport is separate from politics should not include armed conflicts in that definition, because war is a crime, not politics, Ukrainian Minister of Sports Matvey Bidny said in an interview with the AFP news agency in advance of the Winter Olympics.
CB News, bringing you world news update. Thank you for watching.